Today I'm going to show you how to change your indicator stalk on a VT/VX Commodore, as I believe those have got the same type of indicator stalks. I think the VYs are a bit different, but I'm just going to show you how to do it on my 1998 VT Calais. What you're going to need is a new indicator, because as you're replacing it, so you're going to need a new one of these. The next item you're going to need is a spanner or a socket set, because we're going to undo the battery with this, so because we're going to be working with a bit of electronics, we don't want to, like, just for safety, you just want to disconnect the battery. So a spanner or a socket used for that. And the last thing you're going to need is a flat tip screwdriver and a cross tip screwdriver, as there's a screw that you need to undo with a cross tip, and the flat tip helps open one of the tabs on the indicator. All you want to do is undo your negative terminal now. And then just pop her off. I'm just gonna chuck a rag around mine so it doesn't touch the terminal whatsoever. Just like that. And now it's all safe to work on. Now we're gonna move to the inside of the car, so we're gonna have to sit in there, and then we're gonna pull the surrounding off of the steering wheel. So your first step is you want to go under the steering wheel, but you adjust the steering wheel distance. You just want to pop that lever down, and then come back up, and then drop the steering wheel down, and then pull her out. This one's a fucking tough one, and so you're gonna have a bit of room here because you're gonna need to pull this part off. So once that's pulled out, then you're ready to move on to the next step. Now that you've got your steering wheel down and locked, and you want to pull the lever back up so it's locked so I can't move, next you're just going to place one thumb just here, and then your other thumb here, and you're just going to push, and you're going to need two hands for this. So let me see if I can just pop one side out for you. So I got one side out like that just by pushing the thumb up, and I can show you on this side like that, and this will come up and slide out. Be careful not to just toss it away, unless you want it to look nice. So now we're up to this part. We're gonna now move to under the steering wheel. So you're gonna do is pop, to get to your fuse box area, just pop that down. Yours might have it swing down and slide it across, but one of my pieces is broken off, so mine just pops straight off. And we're gonna need access to some screws under here. So when looking under the dash, the screw is in this part, and it's most likely going to be a cross tip. So you're going to want to undo this, and then I'll cut back to once I've got that undone. Now that you've got the bottom screw undone, you're just going to grab it with one hand at either side, and then pull towards the steering wheel, because there's some hooks in these little gaps here. So you want to pull that, and then just trying to do it one-handed. You also want to lift it over your ignition key area. So you lift it off like that, and that's out, and you can give it a clean, because I don't think it's been fucking cleaned in ages. And now we're ready to start pulling the indicator out. And since I have cruise control on my indicator, you just want to follow the extra cable that comes out and unplug it, which should be this one. If you have this, you don't want to pull by the cables, just pull by the connectors, because they can take a bit of like tough love to it. But if you pull by the things and break them, and you pull on the wrong ones, you're gonna have to call a specialist, or you have to rewire yourself if you can do that. So yeah, so I'm just gonna quickly unplug that with care. Now that it's off, I will just say there is a button on this connector. Push that in, and this will slide right out. Yep. So now that's done, we can move on to pulling the full-on indicator out now. So yeah. So now moving on to the indicator, you just want to follow it up, and you'll see these little tabs. You just want to push down on this one, and there's one underneath, like under just in here. And so you just press both at the same time. So let me see if I can do it. Get angle. So you just in, and if they're stuck, you might just have to press down in there, and then the other one, and it will just slide it. So I'm going to quickly just get those underneath, and then I'll show you me pulling it out because I just need to unclip them. Now that I've got the clips undone from them, you just want to keep pulling it out. We like a little slowly. Don't want to yank on it because there's still cables connected. So like that. Because you still got all these cables you got to unconnect. So yeah. So I'm gonna quickly cut to the other part of this. So now that you got this just hanging here, you'll see these top clips. You're gonna grab your flathead screwdriver, just pop it under here. Be very careful, you don't want to break it. So I'm just going to slowly just get under there. Come on. There's popped down, and this will now slide off. And now remember that the smaller ones, the top three, and then now just gonna flip the indicator over and get this clip. And slide you off. And now old indicator's out. And we're ready to put the new one in. Just reverse the steps from now on. Now you can grab your new one and then line them up. Be very careful, you don't want to bend any pins. So, these three all go in there. Connected. Now these three, or four I should say, in until it clicks. But you make sure to press on this and not on the cables. I did it a little bit, but you want to protect them. So now they're in. Now when you see it, when you want to put it in, because the steering wheel's straight, this is a bit tough. But just make sure when it's in the neutral position, so it's not doing left or right indicating, be tucked away, and you're ready to now push this in. Well, line it up properly, that is. I'm just gonna cut to this because I need to get my head a bit lower, but the camera's in the way. So just want to make sure it goes in nicely and then clicks in, and then I'll cut back to once that's done. So I've got it back in now. Just gonna make sure the tabs pop through, which they have. And if you've got cruise control, don't forget to connect your extra piece of wiring, which will just connect back into that one. Just a push connector, so I'm gonna do that carefully again, and then we'll be ready to start assembling this back together. So now you're gonna head back under the car and you're gonna reinstall this. I will give it a quick wipe down, put all the chunks out of there, but then yeah, so just slide this all back up, and I'm gonna cut to it because I'm gonna need two hands with this. Now that you got it back sitting on, back over your ignition key area, don't forget to put the bolt back here, the screw back in, so I'm gonna quickly do that now. The screw is back in and those little hooks are back through, holding it up. Now you're just gonna want to put the top one back on and your fuse cover back on. So you know how to do the fuse cover, so I'll just switch back to the top one. So now moving back to the top, you're just gonna go top piece and slide it back over, and then line it up with this. You want to make sure this slots into here to hold that boot in, but yeah, so it's going to take a little bit of wiggling and then it'll just clip in. Yeah, so I'm going to have to do this with two hands again, so I'll cut to it being back on. The top is now back on, it's clipped in like that, so they all work, like it goes up and down. This comes forward for high beams, back for high beams, up, down, feels normal. So now you just want to connect your battery, make sure everything is working. Like turn the indicators on, go and check around the car, make sure it's popping up on your dash. Then after that, you just want to lift your steering wheel back up or whatever, and push it to where how you drive. So you put it back into your position. Mine's all the way up and all the way at the back. And then just pull your lever. Now just come back to here remove this. I'm just going to use this because I still left my accessories on. And it's going to zap, so it's going to on like that. See, it was fucking going to zap. Now it's grounded. I'm just going to do it back up. If you're touching this, make sure you don't hit your elbow on there because it's going to complete the circuit. Or sometimes people have their spanner and boom, connect, fucking arcs. I'm not gonna lie, I've done it before. It doesn't fucking tickle. So just make sure you do it correct. So just tighten this up. You don't want to go too tight. Just snug enough so it won't come off if you hit a bump. Like that. Now you can close your hood, and or leave it open if you want to test it to make sure everything works. So yeah, now you just want to put your car into the first click and test your headlights. And that's how you change an indicator stalk for reasons that if it wasn't working or it was broken. But now it's been replaced, now you're done. Now just test it, and if it all works, you're good to go.